else. So just push on, pull down, and we've got this naturally shaped arch. They look kind of cool already. Well, welcome back to Painting with MasterTemple. I'm Dan, and if you like these videos, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Let's crack on with a big, long, skinny canvas, yeah? As you can see, I've done a little light sketch in pencil of the pagoda at Kew Gardens. And I've coated this area in a little light coating of linseed oil, and I'm just wiping off all the excess. Okay, I want this part to remain dry, and down here as well, so we can get some nice grasses. Okay, so with a little blue, white, red, and I'm going to touch of purple in there as well. I'm going to paint a nice little sky up here. Okay, I don't want, well, there's not much room for a sky, but just a nice little sky will do. And I'm going to go gently over the top of the peak of the pagoda, just there. We'll just throw in some random shapes and colours of sky, dark up in the corner, just like that. And then just hints of colour down here. Okay, we're going to have some trees in front of all this. And the 50p that we're going to paint, the pagoda, the 50p, the Kew Gardens 50p, as intertwined in vines and things like that. So we may draw some across, but we don't know yet. We don't know. Okay, I'm just going to wipe off the excess and grab a touch more of the purple. Okay, and just add a bit more of that here and there. I just want a nice purpley colour to the sky. Really set it off. Okay, like this. Okay, there's a bit down there. Now, let's take a bit, well, we'll just take this 1-inch brush. It seems to be handy. And a bit of white paint onto that. And then up here, we're just going to blend all this together. Okay, just go over the pagoda if you need to. And then down here, just like this. The pencil marks will still remain. There's very little paint on the canvas. And then back at this side as well. And that's the beauty of it. If you put little paint on, you can add more paint and more paint and more paint. You put a lot of paint on to start with. Wow, it's a bit of a tricky one to keep coating. Okay, especially in this technique. Okay, so there we go. A little bit of a sky. Don't forget to blend that one out. Okay, with the sky all in place, I'm going to put some little background trees in. While we've got the blender brush going, I'm going to just use that. So a little bit of green, and I'm just going to really delicately tap the background here. Okay, delicately tap over the pagoda, just up here like so. Okay, we're going to have some really strong trees at either side, but we need something in this background, right? Let some of that sky show through as well. Create really neat little composition there. Okay, a little bit on the other side, and just a bit of sap green and a touch of burnt umber in places. Right, let's put some little distant tree trunks in that. So on the very thin edge of the knife, okay, just grab a little brown, and we don't want much. Okay, we just want a little slight indication. I'm just going to scratch in some little tree trunks. Now, I only want the little slightest indication of something just holding this subtle greenery up. Okay. Again, I think some of this is going to get covered, so we're not too concerned. We're not too concerned. But if it shows through in the end product, that's good. And we practice doing it as well, so it's not wasted. Nothing is wasted. Okay, with a bit of mix of reds, yellows, purples, blues, whites, whatever we've got going. Where are we? We're there, look. I'm just going to put a little bit of this colour in. Just there, like that. And we've got basically 3 different colours, or 3 different values, because we've got a shadow side, highlight side, and a mid-tone side. So on the mid-tone side, we'll go with this all the way along and fill all this side of the pagoda up. Now this is just a Winsor & Newton flat brush. It's basically like a filbert, but it's got a flat edge. So these are the under colours that we've got, the underpainting. And I'm just going to add a little bit of Prussian blue to this. So you can see It looks a bit messy at the moment, but don't worry about it. I never let you down, right? Okay, so we've got a little bit of blue on this side, indicating shadow, and a little bit of the lighter colour there on this side. Now, there may be some cast shadows from the trees on the pagoda itself, but we'll worry about that when we get the trees in. What I'm going to do, let me bring the camera a little bit closer and show you. I'm going to take an old rag like this and just gently wipe off all the excess paint. Now, you can lay the rag on top of here if you wish, stick it to the paint, go make a cup of tea, come back, or you could just remove it just like this. Don't take this dirty colour into this clean colour, so keep moving the rag about. Just give you a little bit of a show what I mean here. Okay, now taken a little bit of a brick red colour on the flat brush. I've not cleaned the brush. Basically, all the colours that we've used today are still in this brush, and I'm just going to touch on here. I'm just going to drag this very delicately, and you want the paint to break just like you're painting on a mountain, and it'll pick up just the nap or the grain of the canvas, and it'll give the impression of house bricks. And that's what this pagoda is basically made of. You don't want to keep disturbing this. Okay. And of course, you want the colours to be slightly lighter on this side and darker on the shadow side. So just work the same colour in all the way around, just like that. So I'm just taking a little bit of dark brown and black and just putting in some little shadowy colours just under here. Very, very subtle, so you can hardly see the shadows. Okay, so they're there, but they're there. Okay, arches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a filbert brush, which is roughly the same shape of the arch, push on and just pull down. Okay, should have got a little bit more colour on that, but we'll just push on and pull down, and then we've created a nice little arch. Now we can come back and fill that in and do bits and pieces to that as we do with everything else. So just push on, pull down, and we've got a naturally shaped arch. They look kind of cool already. So with a little bit of just off-white on the, a little bit of just off-white on the palette knife, I'm just going to scrape in just like you would do a waterline. Delicate little handrail that runs around these windows. There, like that. Okay, just very delicate. You've got to be very on point with this. Okay, and keep it in perspective. Keep it. If you need to wipe your knife, what I do is wipe the knife on the palette rather than a cloth. There we go. It's a little bit one in a shadow there, just like that. Just some handrails, and then we'll come back with a little liner brush and just link all these handrails together, because I think the knife might be a bit too tight. I can't wait to get onto some of the foliage. This has been some tight work, I tell you. Okay, so let's work on this part. Now this is very tricky. Okay, so I'm just going to put a little line just there, where this, just there. I'm going to cover most of that up, but we want a little bit of a dark spot. I think there's some arches under here. But remember, all this is in shadow thanks to this. We're going to put some trees at this side, so it looks a bit wonky. Don't worry. We're going to just put a little bit of an indication of an arch, and we're going to put some beams. I think there's some pillars, some bright red pillars, I think, on that, if memory serves me right from my photograph. Well, photograph from the internet. I'll put a little bit of something in there, just a bit of an indication. Now on these sides, it's red, so wipe the brush off. And whatever dirty colour we get, we'll put a little indication of a red arch or a red doorway or whatever it is. And we might paint over this. That's all right. Like so. Okay, right. So before we put the posts in place, let's put some indications of some grasses and all sorts down there. So I'm going to really smush in, and we want something for his big trees to sit on as well. I'm going to get all sorts of different grassy colours down here. So this is yellow ochre. Okay, let it pick up all that mucky colour that we've got down. A lot of this will be in shadow, so don't really care. Okay, let's grab a bit of umber, throw that in. Sap green, obviously. We need a bit of green because there's going to be some grasses down there. Now I've lost a bristle as well, don't I? You probably can't see from that far away, but there's a little bristle in there that's come off this filbert brush. Don't worry about that. Let that stay right there. Okay, adds a little bit of flavour to your composition. Okay, so just going to smush all this in. Okay, and then as it gets a bit down here, maybe get a touch of this same purpley colour up there. A bit more of that. That'll give us some depth as well. Okay, maybe even a bit of blue, a bit of black, a bit more browns. Okay, back to the yellows, oranges, whatever colours we've got going, because we're going to make some epic grass. Okay, just fill all that in down here as well. So before we put the little pylons in, or planks, or whatever we call them, I'm just going to mush some of this grass up. So I've got a clean fan brush, and I'm just going to push up just with this right over the base. Okay, and every now and again, just wipe the brush clean and keep going. Okay, just keep going. Just push up. Push the darks into the... We're going to put a tree here, so we're not too fussed about that, but push the darks into the lights. You can even wipe the brush off, grab a bit more of the yellows, push that up as well. Just really push, push, push. Right, all these little grassy effects. Again, I'm going to have something on this side as well, just to, in case the pagoda. Just mush up some of this. Keep wiping your brush. Just keep pushing up, and we'll end up with lots of grasses, and then we can come back and put some beautiful, beautiful thin grasses on, made with a little bit of oil. Look at that. That looks smart, doesn't it? So let's put the posts in from the roof line down to the grass, and what we've got is a nice scarlet, bright red colour. We've got a few other little colours mixed in there, but it's basically a nice scarlet colour, blood red colour, and that will really pop out from the roof line right down to the grass, nice and straight. Now then, we have to be careful here. We're just painted another little background tree there, and here we don't want a massive tree either side, and then the branches cover the complete pagoda. So we've got to be a bit artistic here on what to do. So I think a little bit of a flat brush, and we're just going to start off about here and just pull down. And this is just burnt umber and a little bit of raw sienna in there as well. It goes off the canvas there. Maybe might rejoin, I don't know, there, like so. And we can work with that. Maybe it goes off the canvas and comes back down there. Across. And don't worry about picking up all this grassy colour, because it'll merge into the tree. Okay, there we go. So that's one side done. Right, on to the other side. Okay, and then we can put branches on, or whichever way we want to do this kind of tree. Make some arms. In fact, we might have an arm coming out about there. Like that. It's a bit darker than what we had on, but I must have hit a bit of black there, but that's no problem. Okay, and then this side will maybe start. I don't know. It's a bit hard composing this. Go for it. Just go. Make a choice, Danny, and go for it. All the way through that tree. Now I did blot that tree a little bit. Just dabbed it with a rag, and we'll just pull down And maybe pull it out there. Flare out the base. In fact, we'll make this one a little bit darker there, and maybe bring it a little bit closer to us, just so it's a little bit further closer to us than that one there. That's what I'm trying to say. Bring it down like that. Okay. Now we can work with that with some. Maybe put another branch. It comes up maybe across there like so, and another one there. This one I'll have one like that. I don't know what kind of trees we'll make, but I want something over the pagoda, but I'm going to try and choose a place where it's not. I don't particularly like this area, so we'll go for it. There we go. Oh, bravery test. There. Now let's work with that. You know what I'm going to do? I think I'm going to change one of these trees. There's too much green on here, so I'm going to have a nice pinky purpley colour tree just here. So with a little bit of, I'm just going to stipple on with this big old 2-inch brush, just some crimson, and maybe get a touch of blue in there every now and again, just to pick up a bit of that purpley colour. And if we've got gaps in the tree that we don't like, we can just paint them over, can't we? I'll just stipple on a couple of these. I was going to have 2 green trees almost intertwined, but I'll just use the corner of the brush, and if we get onto the pagoda, come on, spit it out, Dan. If we get onto the pagoda, then that's no problem. It pushes it back slightly, but we just want a little bit of colour in this painting. I know there's a lot of colour already, but put something there like that. Okay, I've changed my mind again, as I always do, but with straight sap green, I'm just going to really dollop on, and I'm putting lots and lots of paint on here now. Wow, it's going to be a while to dry, this one. But really dollop on. This is sap green. Yeah, there's a mixture of umber in there as well. I'm just going to dollop it on. Individual little leaves and things just live out here. I've dolloped on some yellow already for highlights on this tree. Don't know what it is. Don't know what kind of tree it is, but it's looking pretty. These are obviously leaves in shadow. And we'll come back and throw in a few highlighted colours on these as well. Don't want to leave this one out. This is probably one of the main ones. It's pushing that tree right back. So really thick paint, lots of paint to make it stick. Right, yeah, really plow it on. That. Just a couple of little hangy downs, just like that. And I think that tree's about done. I'll take a step back later and have a look, see if we need to adapt any of it. But for now, I think we're gonna take a dry brush and just put some shadows down here. That's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna grab a tiny bit of blue and just work that down. There's gonna be some cast shadows and all sorts down here. So just a little bit of blue down there, and then we'll neaten all the grasses up at the end. Right, wipe that brush clean, because we need to obviously put some purple leaves on this. Right, so a little bit of crimson. In fact, let's grab a little bit of that violet colour. That's a nice colour. I'm going to have that on the shadow side, and I'm just going to put a few little do-for-doos leaves on here. And I'm just touching, creating all kinds of little leafy effects. Reload, just like this. Individual leaves. Think of the leaves. These are in the shadow, these purpley ones. We'll get some lighter ones for the edge. Just Don't block in the colour, just make it individual little tiny strokes. Any which way you want to go. Up, down, left, right. Like that. Yeah. Just pop them in. So I've mushed all that colour off there with a cloth. So it's almost like a dry canvas. This will stick quite easy. Like so. We'll just carry on doing this until we've got a finished tree. Okay, so I've just put a little bit of dirt down here to make a path. Now look how wide it is at the door of the pagoda. It's about the size of a brush, and then down here it's almost 2/3 the size of a canvas, and that's what we need. That's what we're after. Okay, now I'll set some of this back into the grass, but I'm just going to mix a little bit of a purpley colour up and just try and scrub in a little bit of purple on here, just down in the shadowy parts, just like this. Let it bounce, let the brush bounce. No rush, no stress. There we go, just a little bit down there, like that. Like so. Make the purple a little bit redder as it comes towards us. There we go. Get it out into the path. Wipe the brush. I'm going to grab a little bit of ochre and ochre and umber mixed, and then we'll just put a few bumps and bumps here and there. Not too many back in, not too many. Like this, and then we'll just gently tease this path together. So you can get the big brush. That's the one that I used it for making the trees way back when. And then we're just going to tease this just like that. There we've got a nice little path. May put some highlights on this other side, I think. I don't know. I'm going to take a step back and have a look at it. Well, I think it's not too bad from what I can see, so I'm just going to take some yellow, cad yellow on the brush and tap in nice and gently some grasses that just live down here. Like so, and it'll mix with the undercolour that's on there as well. Look at that. Change the flavour. Oh wait, look at how much flavour's in the brush. Create this grass over the path. Like that. Same on the other side, but make it a little bit darker, so a bit sap green in that. Just neaten this path up. Don't like all that similar colour, but I'm just going to grab a little darker. There we go. More green. I think we might have some little flowers down here. We'll melt that with a lot of linseed oil and various colours of whatever. I'm going to put some finishing touches of grasses down here now. I'm going to change the flavour of this every now and again. Let's get some darkings there and go that way and this way. Let's really set it off now. The contrast between the dark and the blades of grass and the background yellows, just wonderful stuff. Right. I've almost run out of red, but I'm going to put a couple of indications of some flowers just here and there. Just tap on, lump of paint, just daub it on. And there's some little flowers that live there. And I like red in the foreground. It's a nice, warm, foregroundy colour, so we'll stick with that. There we go. A few little flowers just there, and I think we're about finished. Well, wow, that is one great big Kew Garden Pagoda, isn't it? If you've enjoyed this one, give me a nice thumbs up. Leave me a nice big comment as well. I do love reading your comments. Don't forget to subscribe if you've not done so already. And until next time, take care of yourself, stay safe, happy days.